Oh, we're live?
Yeah, we are.
That's what action means. Okay. All right. What's up, everyone?
Hello.
Welcome.
Yeah.
It is us. We
my
are
man.
here. How are you guys doing?
Very
Really
well,
good.
thank you. Very well.
Really good. Nice. I like that. Your headband looks good, Ayush. I like that.
Thank you so much.
Looking good.
And I asked
Looking
if he was going to help us get some, but he said this is only exclusively for him. So
Yeah.
we're not
Okay.
we're not on that list apparently.
Well, yeah. You know what? To be fair, probably looks better on him than what it would do on us. So he can keep that.
Yeah, I agree.
that.
Maybe I'm a bit too old for that.
Yeah, you are. You know.
I can't swear on stream. No.
Yeah, right.
Oh god.
All right, guys. In the comment section, let's see who we got here. Let me log into YouTube first. I'm very ill prepared for this, it seems like. So let me log into YouTube and see who we have here today in the lovely chat. Today, I wanted to make sure that we go through the comments today and see if we have any good questions, anything you guys need help with. And you might have noticed as well, you see at the top here it says live trading and market analysis. Before it said crypto live trading, and the stream today is going to be about gold. So you might wonder, but this is a crypto channel, why are we talking about gold? And there's a good reason for that, because if you guys remember, there's the CEO of Tradeify, Brett. He announced something exciting in the Discord channel a few weeks back, that they're launching Tradeify FX, for CFDs, and so we're kind of conditioning the channel here to focus a little bit more on the global markets, which means getting the YouTube algorithm to also understand that we're not just looking at crypto. We're looking at the global markets, and within those global markets, we're also looking at Bitcoin and crypto, of course. So you're going to be seeing a lot of analysis on the markets as a whole, which I think, for me personally, I think is super exciting, because there isn't any crypto without the global markets, right? Like trading crypto without understanding what the AI trade, understanding the debasement trade, understanding global liquidity. Like, there's no trading Bitcoin without that. So I think this is going to be a very, very exciting transition that we're going through here as a channel and as a group. So I'm very excited for that. Which means any questions that you have in the chat regarding anything surrounding trading, we're here to help out.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I did this so this weekend I went on a little trip. My fiance had her birthday, so I had like a surprise trip. So we went down to the west coast of Sweden. We spent a night in a nice spa.
Lovely.
and then I forgot what I was gonna say, but that's what I did. I'm sorry.
Well, it sounds
fine,
lovely.
it's fine.
It sounds amazing.
Yeah.
What did you?
Yeah.
Was it something you were trying to relate back to trading? Was it like one of those LinkedIn posts where
Yeah,
someone
exactly,
goes,
like
someone in my family, did this, and now I'm give me this big business lesson? Was it?
Yeah, but then I thought maybe that's very stupid, the comparison. So let's just talk about something else. We have a good question here from Alpha Gary saying that Ayush, on Friday you mentioned the big trades. I have something interesting, data backtest on an institutional level. Message me, I will send. Yeah, you know what? Why don't you tell us about it, Alpha Gary?
Yeah.
Tell us about it. We want to know. Like, you have Alpha, you're not just supposed to.
Be beta.
You're not supposed to send Ayush. Tell us about it here in the chat.
Yeah.
You got Alpha, like you send me an email. Okay. We went. So Luna, you should take us to a Turkish spa. Like, do I need to go to Turkey for that?
And Korean spa. So there are 2 places for you.
So there is a really nice place in Stockholm, which has like a Japanese style type of spa. Absolutely amazing. Haven't been there, but I'm definitely gonna go there. But I'm not a spa type of person. I'm trying to be, but I'm really not. Like, I don't like people, and that's the problem. You go to a spa, and there's just full of people. Like, I would love. Like, there's a couple of places. Like, I've been to a lot of different spas here in Sweden, and I'm looking for that place that is just so incredibly, underrated, where people don't visit as much. Like the ones that are super hyped up, you go there, and it's like a tiny pool is filled with people. Yeah. And then like there's just people all over the place yapping, and I'm like, I'm here to relax, have a good time, and there's to get away from people, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to find that place where it's like I can be left alone. But in the spa that I was at this weekend was pretty good. They had like a room with like beds, and was dark, and like beds around like an open fire. That was super nice. And then that was nice, yeah. But new idea, spa with very little people.
Bad business plan.
That's a premium one.
It's a terrible business plan.
I have an idea. Let's open up a spa and then just have very few clients.
Yeah. Unless
like
you
very
made
few visitors.
Unbelievably amazing, and you just get like high net worth people to come at, and that's it.
Yeah. Luna says spa is for girls to get relaxed and beautiful. Like, the thing though with this spa that I went to was pretty nice, because like I went there and I just brought a book. I was just sitting there, I was just reading. That was nice. It was relaxing. It was like I was reading a book in a place was just nice. So that was pretty nice.
Good switch.
Yeah, good. I started reading a new book called Evidence-Based Investing by what is it? Christopher Hicks? Is it Theodore Hicks? He's a CMT. So I listened to that CMT podcast. It's called Fill the Gap, which is the podcast from the CMT Association. I highly recommend it, by the way, especially if you, Kibbler. They interview like proper, not random trading influencers. They interview proper portfolio managers and people with an actual role at a trading company. So very interesting, and they interview them from the perspective of technical analysis, of course, but how they integrate technical analysis in the framework of a in the framework of a investment approach. How can we put technical analysis into fundamental analysis, sentiment analysis, and basically, managing portfolio from a systematic point of view while also integrating fundamentals. A very, very good listen, that podcast. And then the guy who wrote that book came on, and so I went in and I downloaded the book on Kindle, started reading that, and then he sent me, I believe he sent me a request on LinkedIn, the author, to follow me on LinkedIn. So I had a conversation with him on LinkedIn. So I posted a little photo when I was reading the book, and then he used that photo and started promoting his book, which I should get a cut, obviously. So if you're seeing this, I am now an affiliate. So thank you very much. Wonderful book, wonderful book. And I'm very much into portfolio management these days. How can I manage my capital, right? Because the more money I get coming in to my account, I start thinking less about how can I trade this account actively, and I start to instead think about how can I make sure that I do not have less money next year. I'm not thinking how can I make a profit on this in 6 months. I'm thinking how can I slowly but surely build the wealth from this capital, which means how can I invest this capital, and how can I diversify that investment so that I can cushion a bear market, and what systems am I going to put in place for this capital. And that book has just the perfect timing on that, because it's about challenging the traditional ideas that you need to be diversified to protect yourself, and you need to own bonds to cushion your portfolio. Which, when you think about it, you want to be diversified, so if the market crashes, you kind of divide that risk up, right? But have anyone seen a market crash where not everything goes down? Because when you're diversified, it just means that you're still going to lose money because everything goes down. Any proper crash in a proper bear market. So the argument here is to be not diversified through, and this kind of clicked when I started studying this. You shouldn't diversify your investment in different assets. You should diversify different systems. And that, to me, just that sentence, made all the difference.
Yeah, diversifying into different sectors and stuff is a big help to kind of mix. I think a lot of people just buy the S&P 500, or they'll buy into a stock index, not realizing that they're probably doubling down on a lot of stuff, because they probably then hear about a hyped up stock like Nvidia or something and try and buy into that as well, and then they don't realize they're actually just doubling up into both funds, because the S&P 500 are just the largest companies within the US, the 500 largest companies. So a lot of people don't realize that, and then they wonder why the S&P 500 tanks, and so does Nvidia, when it's all very concentrated to 7 or 8 really top companies. So yeah, diversifying your portfolio is always a good thing to do. It's just people, I guess, don't know when to diversify or what to diversify into more than anything. So it's always good to do your research and stuff. I've got a good book recommendation. Really good book recommendation. And it's nothing to do with trading.
More good.
So it's called Super Forecasting: The Art and Science of Prediction.
Oh, nice. I like that.
Really, really good book. And it's about an experiment that a couple did. And they basically started this website to try and find who or random people that were really good at forecasting things and events and different acts or whatever. And what they did is they just did this random experiment where they would send out sort of invites in the paper and stuff for people to come and just try out and whatever. And they ended up finding this real group of people that were very, very good at predicting things to happen in the future. And you can relate it to trades in a very good way as well. So when you are reading through it, you can think to yourself, actually, the skills that these people are using, I can really implement that into my side of trading as well. So I recommend this book. It's really good. I took it on holiday when I went to Rhodes earlier in the year. Took it, read the whole thing within a week, because it was just very captivating, very interesting. And it talks through like CIA techniques. It talks from like all these kind of different things as well. What does that say?
Check it out. I just bought the book.
There you go.
There it is. Yeah.
That's your next read. That's your next read. But yeah, that is a really interesting book of how you can think outside the box a little bit and almost be able to use different elements of information together to be able to make a prediction. But what I like about it is it always talks about probabilities, and it always talks about, you know, there's no like 100% certainties. There are only, you know, X amount of probabilities, and they used to do things by timelines and stuff. So they'd say, you know, when do you think, I don't know, oil prices will reach whatever? And they'll go away and they'll do all this research, and they can adjust their predictions as they go for over time until the end date of that question closes, and they have to try and figure it out. And really interesting way of how they do things. I won't spoil it for everybody, so people can, if they want to go read the book, they can. But very interesting. I think you'll like it.
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna take a look. I do. It does sound quite interesting. Let's head into the markets here. I want to see. So we're using MetaTrader 5 now. We are working on officially getting it out so that everyone can get their MetaTrader accounts, but it's so superior to DXTrader, in my opinion. I'm actually going to go in and I'm going to share what I have on. I'm going to share my MetaTrader screen right now.
Yeah.
Instead of the trading view one. So this is what I have now. The data and everything should be good, but I'm not sure if everything is exactly as it should be. I have my 50K account here. I got a 50K one-step account here with Tradeify Crypto. I'm going to look at the gold market some here. Now, I made a little mistake because I recorded a instructions video for MT5 so that everyone who's you can quick video just explaining how to log in, how to set up your account, how to basically open a position, how to use our own built-in position size calculator that we have built, which is just absolutely amazing. Now, Michael gave me an account for that, but I logged into my personal account and I started showing how you can open and close positions.
And then you were like, what is going on?
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay. Yeah, this video cost me quite a lot. But here we go. We're on MetaTrader right here. So I really like what we got right here. We have this amazing for the position size calculator as well, which I'm supposed to be able to have on this screen. Let me see if I open up. I think I'm supposed to just be able to drop it right here. Yeah, that's right. Perfect. So that's the position size calculator we have for Tradeify. And this is really cool because you can just drag and drop your entries and exit.
Yeah, screen is not there.
Okay, we're sharing. I think.
No,
the
sorry.
Green one.
It's the one, one with the yellow. You see the yellow squares? Yeah.
Both are black.
Roman thought that the screen that said MT5 was MT5, which makes sense. Someone wrote MT5 on it.
Ayush is from there, yeah.
Yeah, kind of makes sense though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got gold right here now. Doing analysis within. I'm not gonna lie. MetaTrader is not the best platform to do technical analysis. Okay, it's a very good platform to execute your trade, and I think the reason why I don't like it for technical analysis is because I've always used TradingView, and to me, TradingView just works very, very well. Now, there is a workaround here where you might actually be able to Tradeify, maybe Tradeify crypto, and in the future perhaps Tradeify FX through. Like, I'm not gonna, have to talk to the team here and what the possibilities are, but there could potentially be a workaround where you have a MetaTrader account at Tradeify, and then you connect that MetaTrader account to a copy trader, and then that copy trader you connect to a demo account at a place which is connected to TradingView. So you trade through TradingView to that account, and then that gets copied to your Tradeify MetaTrader. So obviously we're going to have videos, and we're going to show in the live stream how you can set up all of these multiple different accounts, at all different places, and then do everything from one place. Because as a prop firm trader, you probably want, if you know how to go through an evaluation account at a prop firm and then trade funded and keep that funded account and make money, there's nothing stopping you from having multiple accounts. And if you have multiple accounts connected to a trade copier, and then you just trade from one screen, and it's just going to copy itself throughout all the other accounts. So what I'm looking at here on gold is, we're obviously testing his support here. You know what? I think it's actually better if I share my TradingView and do the analysis, and then I'm just going to be executing my trades on MetaTrader, because it is what it is. I need to set it up a little bit more, a little bit better. So let me just go in and share my TradingView here instead. And then I'm just going to have TradingView, as I always do, here on a second screen. So what I'm looking at on gold here is for a potential move, now that we have broken that level, for a potential move down to levels where I'm thinking probably starting around here. That's going to be on the lower time frames though. So I'm going to see if I can open a position here. What are you thinking on gold, guys? It looks
downwards for selling opportunities.
Yeah, it looks like the momentum. I mean, obviously the momentum is weakened here. We have had the initial move, and if we zoom out and we look at the 4 hour, we can see that we're obviously hitting this high time frame resistance area right here. We can see that momentum is slowing down. We have somewhat of a bearish divergence on RSI and price, which is not very obvious, but it's still showing us that even though we have a strong move to the upside, it is losing some momentum. And sometimes when I'm analyzing the markets for a potential trade, I would like to think, okay, if I fast forward 6 months or whatever, or a month, and then I look at this price action and what happened with it, in how does price have to move for me to say in 6 months or a month that, yeah, of course that's the way it moved? You know what I mean? Like, it's just so obvious in hindsight, right? And when I see something like this on gold, basically what we are seeing here is a potential consolidation range at high time frame resistance. We had an impulsive move to the upside. We had a move that was much stronger than what we've seen in a long time. And just looking at this from a perspective of mean reversion, I'm thinking we probably see a pullback here. That's the most obvious move. Even if we are going to see a move up to I don't know, let's say 5,000, up to this level. Even if we're going to get the move up here, it's not going to look like this, right? It's the obvious move is going to look like this. That to me makes sense. So if that's what I'm looking at to be able to say, okay, that was the obvious move, then what do I need to see to kind of activate that? And if I go into the lower timeframes again, I think this is the range. I think this is the range that once 4.3 breaks, I'd be looking for 4.2, at least 4.250.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm looking at. We also have some news coming out. We got the US CPI on Wednesday, and then we have initial jobless claims on Thursday, and that's going to be possible catalyst, right? Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised to see gold give us some fake outs in either direction and kind of hover around this area until we have that catalyst coming out.
So we have
because we got to understand, like,
sure,
yeah, because we got to understand, like, why is price moving? Price is not moving because there's a divergence on our side. Like, it has not, nobody cares, you know. That's not what makes price move. The fact that we're seeing a bearish divergence on RSI is because there's a weakening in momentum relative to the next, you know, leg up to the upside, and that's things that has already happened, right? And that which have happened was because of a trigger, fundamental trigger. Something happened, so price moves on fundamentals, and we need triggers for price to move. Most likely, sometimes in rare occasions, it's a technical trigger. Like, for example, where I remember we had a major move on oil a couple of years ago. That was just a technical trigger. Like, that was just very difficult to find a fundamental reason for gold to move, but it broke a trend line, it broke a level, and then was a surge of buying. So sometimes technicals, a break of a technical level can make market participants more interested in an asset, of course, but for gold in current conditions in this environment, not technical driven, you know, not at all. So what's your take on that, guys? Do you think we're gonna get a break on gold like before that?
I'd be surprised if gold breaks out before CPI, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think CPI and inflation matters more than ever now. Now we've had the Fed Chair Walsh come out and say that inflation is the sort of biggest thing. They want to try and bring, you know, inflation down. You know, that is very strong wording. He's letting the bond market do whatever the bond market wants to do now. He's not going to do any forward guidance. So it makes these big news events even more reactive. I mean, when we look at what happened on Friday, you know, we had a very strong move on gold higher because of the NFP report, which shocked or was away from its deviations. But in terms of like the move, it wasn't actually as big as what we saw in terms of the previous CPI data, which was back on the 14th of July. We actually had quite a large surge in gold prices then, because inflation came in lower. And since then, really, I know we have kind of sideways move for the majority of the time, but since that kind of inflation CPI move back here, gold prices have been pretty bullish. But I think that's then down to a multitude of factors when it comes to the US dollar. We talked about this a little bit last week on last Thursday, where we looked at the three kind of big main drivers behind currency price movement and expectations. So we looked at sort of the GDP growth, the unemployment and the employment situation, and then we looked at inflation. And, you know, the dual mandate for a central bank is full employment and price stability. So that means is inflation rates that are fairly low, within that 2 to 3% target range, and an unemployment rate below sort of 5%. That's their kind of goal measure. If unemployment gets above 5%, that has been very critical to recessions in the past. So they're trying to avoid the unemployment rate hitting that high. Now, what we saw, obviously, the payrolls number came in way lower than expected. It was actually, we actually saw a revision in the figures as well, down to 20,000, which was, I think, previously at like 50 or 60,000. So we had a revision lower on the previous numbers, as well as forecasts were suggesting around about 80k, came in at minus 23,000, which is a big miss there. So then again, that kind of gets you thinking, well, if we see that, we also saw average hourly wages fall as well, and that's a big contributing factor towards inflation rates. We've got a combination now of GDP, which is coming in and expected to be lower, the GDP annual growth rate, which has been dropping. We've got the only thing that's kind of holding up is the unemployment rate. But we've got jobs numbers coming in lower, inflation rate coming in lower. So really speaking, it makes it very difficult for the Fed to now hike. Obviously, the start of the year, it was 2 chances that the Fed would hike. Now we're pivoting completely. Now it was like, it was 2 cuts at the start of the year, and now it was then 2 hikes. Now it's like, is there going to be a hike at all? And we can see that in obviously the CME Fed Watch pricing as well. So, we've gone from being, a large potential to see rate hikes to now more chance of no hikes. So that's why we've started to see the US dollar come off a little bit. The only thing that's holding up at the moment, which is making me a little bit cautious, is bond yields are still kind of relatively high. They're still trading at like around 4%. 2-year yield, this was the 2-year yield's reaction to the NFP news on Friday, which obviously was the big cause as well of the US dollar selling off. Since then, we've kind of meandered our way back up. But if we see an inflation report which shows further decline, I think that'll be the catalyst that drives gold through that $4,375 area, perhaps seeing that price then moving up to kind of the next levels of resistance, being that $4,500, maybe even $4,600. Because if we see a repricing now of no hikes going forward, then the market's going to be in a situation of, okay, well, what should we expect now? What should we try and price in? So it's gone a little bit quiet as well on the Middle East front, even though we have seen a little bit of a gap up in oil prices again over the weekend. But if we start to see a bit of calmer things here, then that headline inflation number should come in a lot lower. And, one thing I'd really be looking at is core inflation as well, just to see how much demand is in the market. But yeah, I actually don't mind gold longs. I think dollar is weaker. The only thing at the moment is we're coming into key areas of resistance. We've got the dollar coming into an area of support, the dollar index. So we just need a few kind of like, we either need an inflation catalyst to push price through this level, or we just need to wait for some technical levels to come into play, back down towards this 4,250 area or something, just to look for a bit of a technical move, I think. This has all been driven by that repricing of those interest rates.
Yeah, and what I'm thinking here is this is all great, but how I'm trying to look for a good trade on this, because I feel like if the move happens based on inflation numbers or job numbers, it's going to happen quick. It's going to be difficult to catch a move like that with good risk to reward. So I would rather. I mean, I guess that's the difficult thing with trading. It's much easier to position yourself for a potential outcome, because then you can position yourself when the market is calm, and then when the markets actually start moving, you'd hope that it moves in your direction. But then you want to wait for it.
Yeah, I mean, a good thing to do is like, what we did before was wait for the reaction, right, and then look for the trade. So back here was where we looked for the trade. So we had the consolidation before the event. The event happened, right? And that's where a lot of retail would try and jump in at these moments here, because they think, very good news for inflation, dollar down. We still have to look at it with a trading cap on and be like, okay, well, is that a good position to go long, right? I mean, you could have maybe straddled it with a buy stop, sell stop at these areas. That can be very dangerous when spreads widen. So I always say, wait for the event to happen, then look for an opportunity. So for this example here, I bought in over here after the PPI event, but it's a very similar situation. But it was like, if you put a market profile on, you can see the accumulation down at this area. So you could wait for price to kind of come into those high volume areas where you know that there's been some decent buying or buying going on at that point, and then look for your long position. So with the PPI situation, it was very similar. All we waited for was price to consolidate. PPI came out, price came back up, it came back into the point of control of the day, ended up taking a long position through there. So you've still got to think with your trading cap on and think, well, where is a good opportunity to try and take this position? If you're looking at it from a swing trading point of view, that's a little bit different, because if you're looking at that from like a 4-hour chart, it's kind of like, well, where are the best positions from a swing trading point of view? And it's always going to be like down towards the lows of something, or a break and retest of a decent level. So break out here, maybe wait for price to come down to this sort of demand zone before looking for something. So in that sense, I quite like the idea of price coming down to previous structure points. I really like this $4,190 area, or even up at this kind of 4,250 sort of area. That would be a good area to me from a swing trading point of view. So you have to just wait a little bit longer. If it breaks out, again, just wait for the retest. I think it's easier said than done, because you want to try and chase the move, and you want to be involved, and you want to try and take a position. But I just find that trying to chase it just doesn't usually end particularly well. So you've got this consolidation building here, right? Right now, the game plan could be, okay, well, if we get a inflation release that is, because there's usually kind of 3 situations, right? There's either a beat to the upside, a miss to the downside, or kind of forecasted around similar levels. So usually when something comes in forecasted, doesn't really move the needle too much, because the market's already trying to price that in. If we see a big deviation, then that could be where the trade comes in. So let's say big deviation, inflation misses to the downside, that should be positive gold. It breaks out of this level. I'd just be looking for the retest of that to then try and get in, because institutions can't put too many orders in the market, because they'll just completely wash out all the traders. So they have to kind of go in these sort of blocks. So that could be a good excuse for them to add into a position, for instance. Or if it is higher, then the catalyst might change at that point, and we might see gold prices fall a little bit, because the market's still trying to really balance this idea of where's inflation going to be, and trying to price that trade into it.
It's interesting. What's interesting about that is everything that you're explaining here is you're explaining, 2 ways to look at the markets, but then you're combining it. So we're looking at technicals, and you say that, okay, so if the news does this, then price is going to break out, and then we'll look for a retest. Or if it does the opposite, price might break down, and maybe we'll look at a bearish retest. Now, this just goes to show that, having both of these perspectives, one from the fundamental side and one from the trading side. From the technical side, you can trade the move just based on technical. You can trade the move just based on fundamentals, but it's when you combine the two, when you know that, okay, this technical move happened for this reason, and that reason in my mind feels like a valid reason. It gives you a little bit extra confidence. And in that perspective, and in that situation, I would also say that once you have a breakout on high volume, and there's a good fundamental reason for that breakout to happen, I'd say buy the breakout. You don't have to wait for the retest, because that is a lot of times a good breakout. Now, of course, I'm talking from more of a general perspective here, because obviously if you buy the breakout, then you're going to have a worse entry, and it might affect your risk to reward, and it depends on what system you're trading. I prefer to wait for the retest when I'm swing trading, but in my in my portfolio, if we get a move, let's see if I can remove the. So we got the daily 200 simple here. Now I don't watch the daily 200 simple as a specific signal, okay? But what I do view is the slope of the moving average. You can see that it's been sloping to the upside for some time. We had, going flat for the first time in a very long time. It's now starting to slope up again. I don't really care that this is the level where we have the daily 200, but I do care about the fact that it's now starting to point a little bit higher. If price can, and we also see on the RSI here, I like that we have strong bullish momentum coming in on the RSI for the first time since, February, March. Well, actually, we had this one, but we are now reclaiming that middle level on the RSI. I like that we get that push on momentum. Imagine price coming down here, retesting that level. RSI comes down and tests the 50. There's a reset in momentum, but momentum is still on the bullish side of its spectrum. We get a bounce here. That, to me, a beautiful swing entry to perhaps take profit here. So, or like what you explained, Kibbler, we get maybe a break above that level on positive news. We come up, we get a retest here, buy here, stops here, and then I'll trade that up. Great, right? That's what I would be looking at from a swing trading perspective. But from a more long-term trading, all I really need is a daily candle close above 4,400 on a good positive catalyst. Then I would consider adding to my gold holdings, which now sits at 0%. My target holding is, I'm still constructing that part of the portfolio, but it's probably going to sit somewhere around 20% when fully allocated to gold.
Is this physical or is this?
That's it. So it's I'm trading this through. So I only have. Yeah, exactly. So it's or an ETF or an ETP. It has, or an ETC. It has to be, because I only have two brokers to choose from, and because of the way it's on my it's company capital, and I only have two brokers to choose from a accounting perspective, and it needs to be a Swedish one by law, and there's an account in Sweden where it's just a flat tax on everything, so I don't have to keep tracks on all individual trades or keep tracks on unrealized gains or anything like that. Just flat tax based on the holdings, which is very good from a tax perspective. So I've been playing around with looking at actual funds, but then it's gonna take a few days for me to enter and exit. So I've had to go with a little bit more expensive, which should be, type of ETF solution, right? Exchange traded. So I would then, on the day of the breakout, on the close of the daily candle, next day I would make a decision in the morning, right? And that I would probably increase that gold holding to perhaps 5 or 10%. And then if I get confirmation, so we see gold at 5 to 10%, and then we see consolidation and the breakout, reclaim then for me, there is no reason not to be fully allocated to gold, because I then view this as a dip in a broader uptrend. And that's the way I trade that portfolio. Very simple. My main assets are 4 assets. It's global stock indices excluding emerging markets, and then it's one specific ETF for emerging markets, and then it's gold, and then it's Bitcoin, and I'm adding I've added a bond fund as a buffer and savings account within that capital, money that I'm not touching unless I really need to. And then I have some space to look for an additional way of lowering volatility. I'm still working on that part, but just riding the trends, you know.
That's good. You can use your trading skill to do things like that, though. So it's
try.
Sorry, carry on.
No, go on.
I was just saying, like, it's good you can use your trading skill for things like that. You know, I sometimes look at seasonal trades on sort of, you know, different stock sectors and things like that, and you can buy those sectors through ETFs and stuff. So it's always good to try and think about it in a technical way as well, because a lot of people that buy into funds just literally just savings, they'll be like, right, okay, I'm just going to top it up. If you know when to deploy those things, you can obviously just maximize and be a little bit more efficient than those people. That's why I always say, like, the VIX strategy for me is a big one that I like to use, which is the VIX is above 20. I allocate more cash into S&P 500 and things like that. And that allows me to be a little bit more aggressive at those points, rather than just being like, oh, here's X amount per month going into the same thing. I at least can like try and maximize that return by like waiting for the VIX to drive above 20 and then buy in, and that's been quite nice since Donald Trump came in, to be honest. So you know,
that's interesting. So you and that's also something I'm trying to figure out how to apply. And I remember going through CMT, and especially CMT2, they talked a lot about trading volatility through VIX futures and options, and it kind of blew my mind when I looked into the whole options and what you can do with options and the VIX, and started reading about there's a VIX of the VIX, the VVIX, and like, okay. So now it's very interesting. Lots of different things you can do that. But so you're saying that once the VIX goes above 20, you start allocating more capital to risk assets.
Yeah.
Because basically what you're saying is when the VIX goes above 20, that's a signal that there's more potential volatility coming for the S&P 500, which would translate to the global markets, and volatility is where you make money. So
I think people see a VIX above 20 as a sell, like get out, like things are bad. When if you actually look at it, it's actually usually really good at calling a low. So it's actually sometimes better to deploy your money in that. It's like, what's that old is it Warren Buffett saying where he's like, buy when everyone else is sort of fearful or whatever? I can't remember.
Yeah, like buy when there's blood in the street or whatever. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's like, I can't remember the exact quote, but it's kind of that type of play where it's like everyone else is panicking, so they're trying to get out of these positions. Whereas, you know, really speaking, that's usually a low in the market. So I use that strategy quite a bit.
It's interesting, because the VIX tells you, the VIX doesn't tell you that there's potential fear in the market. It tells you that there is fear in the market, right?
Yeah.
So you can't really, correct me if I'm wrong, but you can't really use the VIX as a sort of prediction in a sense, right? Because when the VIX is high, it means that the situation is happening right now.
Yeah, and you can try and predict the VIX, right? There are ways to do that. So, like, if I look at you know, seasonality and stuff, because obviously you can get the VIX futures. So I don't know if I'll be able to get it on this particular. Oh, here we go. Volatility S&P 500. So I can't get into that one. So I've locked that one out, but you can kind of look at different things like seasonality, try and predict it a little bit. Obviously, if you think that, you know, there's going to be a strong sort of situation going on in the market, so we could look at what's been happening recently in terms of the US and Iran situation. And if you keep on top of that, you can kind of tell when there's going to be some kind of big move coming, and you can try and front run it a little bit like that. I just think that's very hard to do. It's very, very difficult versus kind of just waiting for, the catalyst to happen. It's like I don't really like selling stock markets. I've not been very good at doing that. So I'd rather just wait for the panic sell to come in and then try and buy it, because I just find that is way easier than trying to, call a top in it. So yeah. I haven't heard of Ayush in a while. Are you okay, Ayush?
Well, Ayush.
Let me know if you guys can hear something from my background.
No.
So, so is it somewhere in your place, or is it like out on the street?
No, it's someone. My place bought a DJ. I just called my mom that what's going on. She was like, someone bought a new set of DJ and they're celebrating by playing songs.
In your house?
No, outside my house.
Okay, man, you like I want to live there, man. I want to live there. Like, that's a good problem to have. Like,
yeah, the thing is, I'm already done with all of this thing. I think previously where I was living, I left that place only because there is a DJ guy, and now we have another one here. So I don't know where to go. I think I have to find a new place now.
He's following you. He's like, where's Ayush gone? Man. I need to DJ for him.
I hate DJ.
Oh, it's cool, man. So they're not celebrating anything specific. They're just celebrating the fact that they got a new DJ set, probably.
Yeah.
Oh,
and it's actually not legal to play it without permission, so they're doing it without it. So.
Oh, okay. Well, you're not gonna call the cops on them, okay? That would be.
I did last time.
That's what we call a rat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Snitches,
We're
man.
not
Snitches.
Yeah, snitches, man. They get stopped out.
I like the way you phrased that.
Hey, careful.
I like it a lot.
All right, let's we got robots and Bitcoin looking a little dumpy. Yeah, you're like 6 months too late on that one. It yeah, it looks like it died, got resurrected, and then died again, halfway through the resurrection. But I'm kind of with Anastasiia on this. I moved to 70K does not look completely off the table. If I'm going to be honest, it's especially if we're going to get that renewed risk on sentiment that we've seen for a couple of weeks now. We have the semiconductor index has we dropped almost 30% here from the highs. We have now started reclaiming it. It is not entirely clear though. It's not. I feel like it still has to break above this level. So you can kind of see how we're testing a good resistance. So this is the semiconductor index, and for me it's an important chart right now. Not because everyone is talking about it, but because it's actually has a lot to do with the AI trade. Semiconductors obviously a big part of the AI trade. So what I'd like to do is I'd look at the SOX, which is the Philadelphia Semiconductor Index, I believe, and then the EEM, which is the emerging market ETF, I believe. Which is testing kind of like that resistance zone as well. Hopefully we're going to get move a little bit higher on that. We got the Vanguard VT, the world index, but I do believe I think the VT is including EM. So this is developed markets, 80%, and then I believe 20% is EM. And obviously we're bullish. We're very, very bullish right now. And then we'll look at the NASDAQ, which is recovering quite nicely. So it's all about AI. It's all about AI, these moves right here. Because looking at Bitcoin, it's like There's just nothing here. If this was a broad risk-on move where people, wanted to be invested in the market from a broad perspective, we would be seeing Bitcoin move as well. But the AI trade is just sucking up all liquidity.
Yeah.
Interesting though that we got Brent is had a good bounce here. It's we had a rejection on Friday, but it's that bounce around 77, 78 is holding quite nicely. A reclaim of 85 here would probably tell us that there's more going on in the supply chain of oil than we might know. I'm not really. Have you guys updated yourself on Hormuz situation? What's going on there in the Red Sea?
No, not really. There's not been. I don't think there's been much going on there at the moment. I've not seen too much in the way of information. I usually look at News Squawk to kind of get a few things. But yeah, I didn't see too much. I saw something about basically the where is it now? No, it wasn't this one. There was just some report.
Yes, I'm just gonna take a quick break. I'll be back in a bit.
Yeah, cool. Oh, here we go. It said the Iran's Supreme National Security Council issued 6 demands to the US, including total force withdrawal, end to proxy warfare. So it says that the talks, are constructive and positive, but then there are demands going on. So again, it's a little bit mixed in terms of the information that we're getting out. So when it's a bit mixed, market doesn't really do a fat lot, which is kind of what we're seeing today in particular.
Mm-hmm.
Ayush, my man, what are you looking at? What's going on in your charts? Where are these beautiful little volume bubbles?
It's cold.
There is a Fed speaker. There's not necessarily a Fed speech. So it's FOMC member Hammock speaking. But sometimes it doesn't necessarily mean too much. The market really kind of looks at kind of like the Fed chair and stuff, and there's a few more that that people take notice of, but not many people really look at the Fed members too much unless it's kind of like the Fed chair, because that's the kind of final vote, deciding vote on what happens. But yeah, there is a speaker. It's member Hammock speaking. Now you can see Fed. If you go, is a hawk or dove. You basically get some that lean one way or the other. It says generally leans hawkish, so she's a bit more concerned with persistent inflation. So if she goes and starts talking about inflation and things like that, it could have a small impact, but she's known to be hawkish anyway. So unless she kind of shifts her mindset completely and starts being a bit more dovish, then it will probably have a bit more of a hold. But yeah, you can see it's only a yellow folder data today. But thank you for pointing that out.
Yeah, he mentioned in the group. I was like, okay, it's something like that, then I have to look at it. So talking about, I think obviously, as the title says, XAU USD. Looking at gold right now, I think whatever both Jonathans mentioned about the pair, I'm also looking for shorts. Right now, we are in a very low volume area. Obviously, we're getting some rejection from there. You can see we got some one rejection here and here. So I'm assuming that there is a really strong support level. And what I want is, I want this level to get invalidated and price go lower. So I assume like if we close lower, then I'm gonna go short below this low volume area, and I think my next target will be this range or maybe point of control. So I'm gonna target 4,317 first, and then the range low. So, but as I said, that I use, even if I remove this volume profile here, from here, I'm just gonna use the market structure as my area of understanding. So let's say this range is going to act as magnet for my trades, but currently we already formed one range in this area. So this area is going to act as resistance, and if we break below, I'm going to take a short, and my first take profit will be in this range. And now I apply volume profile, the idea stays the same. So we already formed double top kind of pattern. We all price tried to break above the value area high, and there is no follow through. You can see the volume is decreasing when it tries to go higher. So I feel in order to find a fair price, sellers might go aggressively lower. So I think from in this area we might see good flush, and then when price let's say something like this happens and goes aggressively lower and then forms another range, because we have this fair value at this level. So I might take advantage of this selling pressure coming in if we invalidate this support level right now. And during the Asia session as well, it was a really good long trade. I'm not going to say really good for people who are swing traders, but if I say it for the intraday perspective, I think
I love how he's trying to like stay concentrated with all of that noise.
so you guys can hear it. Right?
I can hear it. Oh yeah. I was just for some reason I was just kind of bopping along, then I realised that there was some music going on in the background. But you know, I'm down for it, man.
Damn criminals, man.
I might punch my monitor, I think. It was so expensive actually to move here because of the DJ, and now I think I have to look for another house.
Nah, man, bring him on the line.
No. So right now I can see that the delta, negative delta in the low volume areas gives me the understanding that what you guys are doing in the low volume area, you might get absorbed, and that's exactly happened, and price again went higher. But the thing is that the rejection gives me the confirmation that price failed to make a new higher high, so we might see some correction for the lower move. So I'm gonna target this range, and you can see that the price is still ranging. If we break lower and maybe below this range, it will accelerate toward this range directly.
Great analysis, very entertaining.
Thank you. Now I'm gonna just turn off my mic.
Reading up on the latest from the Strait, and it seems like the Trump administration is shifting from who cares anymore? All the back and forth now is just insane. So apparently Trump is shifting from more of a direct threat of bombing and military action to pressure them more economically, which he says has an effect, because inflation and the lack of money, as he puts it, are already squeezing Iran. And then there's also there's talks between Oman and Tehran has been about reopening the Strait of Hormuz. So same old. I don't really see anything new here. It's just the same old. Iran's positioning is, of course, that the reopening is based on the fact that U.S. has to halt all when it comes to blockade. They have to start paying compensation. Iran wants to take out some type of fee for chips going through the Strait of Hormuz. And we can see that. I think when we're looking at the price of Brent here, and Brent being the benchmark, the global benchmark of oil, we can kind of see that the markets are not believing that it's over. The Strait of Hormuz is closed. Looking at prices of oil, it kind of looks like no one's really pricing in a reopening of the Strait anytime soon. And like I said, if that $85 level breaks it upside, that's the market telling us that it's not an ending anytime soon, which I don't think will happen. So, but what I think, it doesn't really matter. But looking at the local structure of oil, we can kind of see this pattern, right, where we have it is, it went down, and then we have lower highs, we get lower lows, lower highs. So we do kind of have this pattern of a local downtrend, So just because we're bouncing today and we're moving higher today, we need to put that into the context of what the overall market is saying. And what I'm saying here is that get above 85 and there might be an issue, but we're at that resistance and we can very well continue lower from here. And this is important, because higher oil means higher inflation, at least short term, and the worry of higher inflation is going to persist with higher oil prices, which means more pressure on the Fed to control inflation. We've been above target for 4 or 5 years now. Is it that long?
Yes.
Yeah. So they obviously I think they feel pressure to do something about inflation, and Wars has also talked about being more focused on inflation than the job market, because he says that the job market looks stable and we're going to focus on inflation, and that puts a pressure on risk assets, of course. And this is important for anyone trading Bitcoin, because the AI market, the AI trade is most likely going to continue as long as we see, earnings beating expectations, as long as we see some signs of the capex spending potentially leading to more profits, etc. But then, higher inflation, potential rate hikes is going to create a situation where it might spell trouble for funding within the whole AI trade. So, yeah, I think higher oil prices definitely puts a cap on what we can expect from this risk rally, and especially a cap on what we can expect from Bitcoin. So yeah, I think if you're watching global markets, I definitely think this is an important level to watch for Brent right here.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's difficult. It's difficult to be a buyer of Bitcoin. I think someone actually commented a little bit earlier that Michael Saylor again said he sold more Bitcoin. It's quite interesting. He was on a podcast with. Do you watch that Diary of a CEO?
Yeah. He
was on a podcast with that guy talking about how people shouldn't buy houses. They should. I'm assuming he's saying they should buy Bitcoin instead. That would play right into his hands because that's what he wants. He wants to see Bitcoin prices higher. Of course he does, because at the moment his business is getting absolutely crushed. So he would obviously want to try and support that in some way. But selling of it is obviously going to spook a lot of people who believe in his projects, believe in. A lot of people at some points were probably buying in when he was buying in, because they thought, well, this guy, talks it up so much and there's going to be so much positivity around it. And then all of a sudden he starts selling it when he said he never would. That just creates fear in that sense. So people try and get out then, don't they, because of that. So, yeah, I mean, it's hard to be a buyer of Bitcoin when we've got so much, risk at the minute. It's going to be very, very difficult to do that.
Yeah, the Saylor situation is interesting. I think it's more complicated than saying he's just selling Bitcoin, because I do remember seeing an interview with him not too long ago where he talked about why he's selling Bitcoin and what he's doing with the proceeds of selling Bitcoin. And it's complicated. It is really complicated. But if you look into the whole reasoning of him to be selling Bitcoin, it goes kind of deeper than that. But yeah, definitely interesting shift. All right, Anastasiia, welcome. How's it going?
Hey guys, how are you doing?
Hello.
We're doing great. Hope you're good.
Good. How are you guys trading already on Monday? Or waiting for the market opening?
Yeah, I haven't been trading anything today, unfortunately. I'm not really seeing anything.
No, I tried to go euro dollar long a little bit earlier, but it didn't work out. It didn't work out for me.
And Ayush is just trying to survive his DJing friend. Apparently he has a neighbor who bought a new DJing set, and
Oh, no, not my friend. I don't keep friends who have DJ. No.
This man is not a friend.
Guys, I gotta jump off. I got a meeting coming up shortly, so I'll see you guys later, okay?
Yeah.
See you, Jonathan.
All right, take care, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Have you been trading, Anastasiia? You had anything going on?
I did. I had a gold longs in the morning, but I did exited partially break even on some of the accounts and partially in a little bit of the loss. And that's it for today, because so far I don't really see anything else, to be honest. Well, my chart is, here we go. So I had longs here after retest of the volume and after the retest of this key level here. So I was expecting the price to continue to go higher, which it did, and then came back to more volume once again for the current monthly point of control. So I'm expecting it potentially to still return to the break even right now, but the trade is closed, right? So I'm expecting it to maybe continue higher from here. I want to wait for the market opening though. It's just in 15 minutes from now on something, so not gonna risk taking the trade at the moment. So what we see is that since the price has been going up, we did have a lot of selling pressure. Like we had most of the market sell pressure coming in. So let's see, how the market opens perhaps, because I am afraid kind of that the price can follow the delta eventually, which normally it is a bullish sign. If we have so much pressure and the price keeps, going against this selling pressure as well, which means buyers are pretty strong. But ahead of the market opening on Monday, I think I'm just gonna keep it safe.
How do you manage that? I remember when I used to trade Euro futures, I'd use the cumulative delta as well. And sometimes if you see obviously this divergence between price and delta, how do you not get caught up in on the sell side of the move?
Well, I look at the higher time frames. Mm-hmm. That's pretty much about it. So if you look at the 4-hour time frame, for example, I was gonna take 1 second to load, but if you look at the 4-hour time frame, we broke the key zones for short. So unless it's in my area for the long, higher time frame shorts, I'm not shorting it. So I had an area here for the higher time frame shorts, which I tried to execute. I was taking this trade last week. And then the next area, which is for me is good for shorting, is on the futures score, this 44.83, 45.50. So basically, if you look at the CFD scores in this area of this consolidation here, so in between, I'm not gonna short because the price is pretty much above my key area of the volume, which means if we are above the key area of the volume, I'm gonna expect the price to continue towards the next key area of the volume, so higher. Because the logic behind the way I trade on the high time frames is that I trade from big volume area to big volume area.
So it doesn't matter if the delta is kind of pushing against the sort of current move, you just kind of think that that's just because there are strong buyers and whatnot.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
Are you trading anything today? This week, in general, anything you're looking at?
Yeah, I want to.
I don't think I've ever seen you taking any trade unless we had this like short competition like scalping, which was super random. I think I've actually never seen you trading.
I was looking. Well, I tried to buy euro today, but it didn't work out very well. I was looking at the sort of area down towards these lows, finding support, and then I wanted to look for the kind of continuation of this sort of short-term move that we had. We had like a bit of a bullish move, so I wanted to try and get on the back of that. Took one position in long, but as soon as price kind of broke down, I was like, this isn't going my way. So I cut that trade early, and I was waiting for this sort of, I guess, Ayush would call that a fair value get, right, Ayush? As an area of support.
Don't say that. I taught you that.
I knew you'd bite on that. So yeah, I wanted to see if this area would act as support, and it looks like it obviously is going into. Well, I'll say obviously, it's acting as support right now, just on this 15-minute chart. But yeah, I like the idea of selling US dollars. So buying euro dollar makes sense to me up into the 116 handle. So that's where I'm looking to kind of trade to. Yeah, I mean, I haven't really seen any real strong positions lately for my style of trading. So I've been looking around. I traded gold a little bit a couple of weeks ago. Missed this kind of breakout move, but I was trading more sort of the CPI data and the PPI data back over here, and then we just kind of went sideways. So I was waiting for this kind of breakout point, but not really been able to catch the move higher yet. And I also shorted this head and shoulders on gold down, but yeah, I've not caught the move yet. So problem is with gold is tomorrow we've got CPI as well, so that's a big event for me. We're at quite this large level of resistance as well. So, when I try and look at it in terms of, do I want to be long here? For me personally, not yet. I'd rather see price kind of break a little bit lower first, then try and look for something. I've been trying to get on US dollar CAD short for a little bit.
USD CAD.
USD CAD, yeah, and that is just basically avoiding all of my levels that I want to get short at, which is great. So yeah, that's annoying because this market has pretty much done exactly what I thought it would do, but it's just sometimes the way the trading gods give it you, they just don't give you the level that you want. So yeah, unfortunately I haven't got in on any of those
for the entry. Yeah,
so yeah, I want to try something, but it's quite a slow Monday so far. I usually like to wait for the US session to come in on the Monday before I make any decisions. I was looking at the S&P 500, seeing that we'd obviously broken higher, looking at Friday's price action. So whether we come and retest some levels from Friday, I might have a look at either of the value area high, value area low to see where it opens. So yeah, I mean, I'd like to try something, but I have to plan it out a lot. So I sit and wait for levels, and I set a ton of alerts, and then wait to see the alerts go off first.
Yeah, well, nothing has been happening since the morning, basically, too much. So for me, gold is now bullish. I don't really have the entry yet because we are kind of ranging. So tomorrow, ahead of CPI tomorrow, I think we kind of might stay in this range as well, which I don't really want to get caught in again, So this is also one of the reasons I'm not really reopening any trades anymore at the moment. So perhaps New York session can push it a little bit further, but if it doesn't, I'm also going to stay away until tomorrow's CPI in general. So we'll see. Luna, no, unfortunately not. Unfortunately, it's a light effect. I could use a vacation at the moment for sure. But no, it's just a really good light.
Have you turned the light onto like a color setting? Is that what it is?
No, I have like a big main light basically, so you can put it colder or warmer. So the central one is cold, but the overall one is warmer.
Yeah.
It feels like the sunset light at the beach. You turn it on.
Yeah. Ayush's background makes me feel like I'm at home, and I quite like that. I feel like it feels quite homely. Mine's very plain. Office vibes.
So you say it is still reaching to you guys. Oh no, he increased the fucking volume. I have to go on mute. Sorry guys.
I can hear the volume going up. Well, well, at least if he would be a good DJ, that would be different, but doesn't seem like it.
No, he's a bad DJ. He's trying to make it like Ibiza vibes for you, Ayush. Do you know what I mean? Trying to make you, feel like you're on the beach or something and in a bar. That's where most traders want to be, right? That's where you can be.
We have a PPI this week as well.
Yeah.
We should know. Thursday?
Yes, Thursday, yeah.
Yeah, it might be a really good week or it might be a really slow week. Apologies, I have an intruder here. he didn't really ask for permission to jump on me in a live stream, but yeah.
Is that a lab? What is that? Is that a poodle?
It's a Cavapoo.
Ah, Cavapoo.
It's a teddy bear.
Yeah, it's a pretty much living teddy bear.
Yeah.
What are you looking at me now? You're just like, you just jumped on here, so now you are on the camera.
Yeah.
He's like, what the heck is going on now?
Yeah. He's like, what is this?
It's like it's an emotional support dog when you trade.
I love that. Yeah, I love that.
I
reckon there's definitely something in that, isn't there? Like having a dog around and just. I looked after my brother-in-law's dog for like a year and a half, and they're just so happy to see you all the time, and you just think, oh, this is great. This is great.
Yeah, he trades. If he barks once, we buy. If he barks 2 times, we sell.
Okay. That's pretty impressive.
You know this reels with the chicken on IG, where the chicken is like buying and selling this? We can do the same. It's going to be a Tradeify dog.
I like that. We should get that going.
Like a small Tradeify sweater.
Yeah. Or like a little handkerchief thing going on, you know. Little collar on the side.
That's like a walking promotion, advertisement for Tradeify.
Yeah. I think you could charge more for that as well.
Yeah, it's basically 2 of us now.
It is,
one and a
half. Yeah. I love that. Everyone's saying the dog signals group. Imagine if the dog was better than you though. That would be heartbreaking, wouldn't it? You'd be like
no, it would be so good. Come on, if he would be good in trading, I literally have to do nothing.
Well, that's true.
So it's how easy this life is.
Yeah.
I really wish.
That'd be funny. What's everybody trading this week? No Roman. Has Roman gone? I can't hear Roman either, to be honest.
No, I can't hear you.
So are we stuck on your charts, Ayush, for a little bit? You're going to have to let the DJ out then. You're going to have to let the DJ out and start breaking down this. What are you looking at here? Let him loose. Oh, no, there we go. Back. You're all right, I've saved you. So, yeah, we've got pretty important week coming up in terms of data. We're not really looking at anything today. This is one of those things where sometimes when you look at the market and you think nothing is going on, but we've got the open in 5 minutes, so maybe we'll get some kind of spike. I was looking at the opening bell news just to see if there's anything going on, but we haven't really seen anything yet. As someone said in the chat as well, there's been a large earthquake in Colombia as well, and there's no tsunami warnings there at the moment, which is good news. But yeah, there's not really much going on in terms of big data points. I think obviously one of the big things has been Bank of Japan moves, but as Roman pointed out earlier, we do have an FOMC member speaking later, but I don't think that's going to be too much in the way of what it does. The big data is coming on Wednesday. It's that core CPI, PPI as well on Thursday at 1:30. So they're going to be the big movers for the week. We can have a little look at how the market is seeing these at the moment. If we look at this week, filter the economic news, we can see the higher and lower expectations. Now, this is what I look at all the time. I always look to see how far away price deviates from what is expected. So if we take a look at the inflation rate year on year, expectations are we going to see a lower one at 3.4%. Minimum is 3.3%, maximum is 3.6%. So basically what this is if we see a move below sort of 3.3%, that's going to be pretty bearish US dollars, and we're going to see the US dollar sell off, gold rally. If we see it come in at forecast or just above at 3.6%, then that could be pretty positive for the US dollar, because it means that maybe the Fed have to leave rates where they are, or potentially lean a little bit more hawkish. The number that we really need to look at as well is the core inflation rate. So this strips out the high volatility tickets like food and oil and things like that. So if we start to see this one decline further, so the minimum is 2.4. So if we see 2.4 or below, again, I think that's going to be pretty bearish US dollars, what we see at the minute. So that's the big mover for me. PPI obviously is going to be a big one as well, but I think CPI is going to be the big mover. And once we get that out of the way, it kind of opens the door for some maybe extended moves in the market. Things like looking for those, big moves in gold, maybe those big key breakouts that we see across the board. I was looking at the commitment of traders report on gold as well, just to see where we have our sort of hedge funds positions, where our commercials are positioned. At the moment, hedge funds are adding into long positions on gold at the moment, which is, again, kind of telling you where their mindsets are. These large speculators starting to see a little bit of an increase. We haven't seen any extremes coming in play really for gold, which is interesting considering the prices was down sort of like 20% from the highs. So you would have thought that we would have seen a little bit more aggression from the commercials buying aggressively, but we haven't really seen that. So yeah, I mean, it seems like a market that is waiting. It's waiting for something. It's waiting for some kind of catalyst to really kind of kick on and fight. We went and had a little look at the CME Fed Watch tool as well. We were looking at how bond market is trying to price in. We'll see how this goes today, but we've seen huge changes. I mean, a week ago there was a 67% chance that we were going to see an interest rate hike. A month ago it was almost like a 70% chance that we were going to get that, potentially even a 50 basis points hike, and now that's gone to zero. And there's more chance of an interest rate hold than a hike at the moment. So that should fuel that gold upside. So that's why I'm keen to be a buyer of gold. It's just waiting for that nice sort of area to buy it from for me. So yeah, I'd like to see the break and retest of this zone personally, because then that opens the door up to sort of 4,500 and above. Will we see prices back towards 4,800? Maybe, but I don't like to look too far ahead.
Yeah, now market is open, so we get some volatility in the stock market as well. Trying to recover, but very, very, very bearish at the moment. We've had like an attempt to recover, but more volume coming in, so I think we might continue to the downside as well for ES and NQ slightly, and gold was trying to recover, but also getting pushed back down from the same heights at the moment. So I'm also a buyer of gold, like you were talking about, and for me, it's on the high time frame, it's a definite upside continuation at the current moment. I would only be selling if the price breaks below the previous key support, resistance, it would be right if the price would break below it. So at around 43, 42, if it comes to the futures quotes, and renew the lows around 42.80s. So then on the pullback, we would get kind of head and shoulders in the high time frame I would be selling at. For the rest, even if it would pull back here without renewing the lows, that would be my next zone for buying gold probably. Just like, I think it's around the same area, Jonathan, that you were showing before, So right here would be basically another area for longs. Again, I'm not in this trade, but if the price would also, for example, continue to go higher and the candle would close super bullish, I'd probably try to catch the continuation of the upwards move as well. So, but for the moment, nothing. Same range.
Would you be tempted to trade the range if you saw something good? Let's say like price tried to break the low of the range, but then there's lots of aggressive selling that failed. Would that prompt you into wanting to buy?
So, I would trade the range if it's like a long-term range, like a big area, then of course, like on the smaller time frame within this range, it's like a trend, like basic price action principles. So within the, the impulse, which is on the higher time frame, for the lower time frame is like a whole trading movement. So this I would trade, but if it comes to the lower small ranges, like trading specifically within the range, not my thing, because the problem with the volume is that the volume and the range is like two similar things. It's like two synonyms. The big volume area is the area of the range, or area of the accumulation of the volume. So if the price is in the range, it's basically in the volume, whether it's I trade from volume to volume. I trade the breakthroughs through the volume, I trade rejections of the volume, I trade the pullbacks and retests of the volume, but the whole point being the price exits the big volume area first before I actually trade it.
Yeah, cool. Do we have any questions from chat?
I can't see any.
Oh, he's back. Is the DJ stopped?
Yeah, finally.
Did you throw something at him? Is that what it was?
I wish I could. In one go.
God, I probably wouldn't have enough patience for just being silent.
What time is it where you are, Ayush?
It's 7:04 p.m.
Okay. So he's thinking this is after work for most people.
Yeah.
He doesn't realize that.
Anyone can play and do it, but the thing is that we need that. It's better to take permission of everyone in the society and stuff. But nothing like that happened. We just started doing it.
Buy him some headphones. Just go down and say, use these, please.
I think last time, where I used to live, I filed a case against a person.
Yeah.
They were just doing testing for maybe 3 at the 12 a.m. at the night. And I was like, what the fuck you're doing? People are sleeping and you are. He's like, I'm testing my DJ. I was like, it's not the right time to test your DJ, man. People are sleeping. Just shut it. So he was like, you can do whatever you want. I was like, okay, I'm gonna leave the place then. So I left. So that's why I have some trauma related to DJs. Like I hate DJ.
And did you see Nasdaq on the open?
Yeah, it's, I think, basically rejected from the, no, it's ES, but it's rejected from the low volume area. I think if we can go lower after this candle slows down. So I think after maybe 10 a.m. open will give us opportunity for shorting it towards this range. And
I'd say be careful now with shorting it, because if you look at the 4-hour time frame and the volume distribution from the previous recent low to the high, we are at the point of control of it. So this is what the price is rejecting now as well.
Oh yeah. Basically, we are in the range of the last week, Wednesday and Thursday. Yeah. I feel the news one.
Yeah, we are.
So if you look at this range, yeah, it makes sense because at this purple line is my long area. So if we tap this, if 930 tap this area, then I will look for long opportunities, not shorts.
Yeah.
Towards back to this range. But the NQ have not tapped it yet, or maybe because I don't really like to judge market after during the first 50-minute candle. Like, give it at least 30 minutes or 1 hour to settle down and then trade it. So I think 10 a.m. is the sweetest time for me to take a look at futures. I mean NQ and ES. But gold is still holding this low volume area strong. This is the only support level for me, which is looking good for people who are buying. But if once we close lower, I think this is the next level coming for selling. So might take a intraday trade after we maybe reject somewhere around here in this range. So yeah, I think price might form another range, might do nothing because this fair value can create another fair value over this area. But the idea is pretty much clear. We have supply, we have support. If we give good confirmation here, might go long from here only, or if not, then just looking for sells. But for NQ, yeah, I think if we tap this area for longs, or maybe it will again form a range, because the thing is, you can clearly see that the last week we created this range over here, and there is another range here as well, and we might create another one. So just gonna wait for price to do something. And obviously it does not matter to me the most because I trade on the 2-minute chart. 15-minute is obviously a high time frame for me. So looking at 2-minute, if I'll get some scalp 1 to 2, I'll be done for the day. Apply the volume profile at the 9:30 open. Let's see what happens after 10 a.m. Let us know in the chat, do you guys like to jump in at 9:30 candle, or maybe during the first 15-minute, or you have got slapped by market a lot, then you be like, no, I should wait for a few hours, like me, because when I was new into the futures, I was like, oh, 9:30 is a time where we make a lot of money. Just click buy and sell, the first candle will give you, and it actually did. It gave me money, but not for long, not even a week. For 3 days I made money, and the 4th day was huge red day, and it was Friday. And you can understand how tough it is to survive during Saturday and Sunday, especially when you're new. So I wrote in my journal that I am not going to trade for first 1 hour when the market opens. We look at it only when it forms some structure after 9:30 at the regular trading hour, and then plan my trades.
Yeah, it's like a giant volume.
Yeah.
So like if you look at my chart right now, yeah, there we go, thank you. So we had huge volume coming in here. For the first 5 minutes of the market opening, we had a push up, we had lots of volume push down, and now again attempt to recover. And look, all of this is a week basically. So in all of this week, we have like so much volume happening. And this is a 5-minute candle, so it's done in less than a minute. And I don't really see anything bullish in this matter, to be fairly honest. If you place the volume profile over this candle here, is like we are below the value area low, point of control is here, but at the best, I think we're going to keep consolidating here. The worst, we're going to break below the value area low of this candle. Now, the reason I'm careful with shorts is that at Nasdaq, again, I was saying that like basically from the recent low to the recent swing high, the point of control of the whole movement is right here at 29, like 76, 74, 6, 70, 750, something like this. So might also get the rejection back to the upside from here. So I'm going to be very careful of the market opening before I'm going to actually like, I want to see either the clear continuation to the upside or like a clear breakthrough, you know, and through this volume and then some of the shorts, because the problem with the market opening is that, like, yeah, you can technically, if you're very lucky, you can catch this move and you're going to make a lot of money very fast, but where do you place it in the stop loss? Unless you don't, you know, unless you don't place the stop loss, then of course it's like, it cannot be hit if you don't place it. Can't hit your stop loss if you don't have one.
Yeah. And we have really big selling at this lows. If I think you have seen, you have that on your chart as well. A very huge selling at this low area, and that's what really gonna give us a good idea. If this guy is going to be absorbed, then we'll have good longs. So it is about to tap the low volume area of the high time frame. Might bring some longs after the open, and this range, as you guys know that before applying volume profile, I just like to keep my eye on proper range area which I can target. So this is a zone which I'll look to target if I go long on any of the pair. And as you guys know, me and Jonathan and Anastasiia, everyone I think use the correlation. If I see whatever pair is good for longs, if a one is making good higher highs than the other one, then I might switch the pair and go long in the different pair. So it's not like gonna do this and that only in this pair. During that situation, if I see NQ performing bad for longs and ES doing good for longs, I'll switch the pair and go longs there.
Yeah.
And it's not like, oh, just gonna go long because it is strong. I should have some area to target, or maybe a magnet area or a range to target, which ES currently does not have. So gonna be careful, because one is got rejected in the low volume area, which as a resistance, and other one is taking support at the higher time frame level. So it's gonna be a day where we test our patience, wait for our setup, and trade the right pair. And for gold, the idea is still the same.
Yeah, gold is doing absolutely nothing on the market opening.
Yeah.
I'm barely moving. It's also like it's trying to reach the higher highs, but keep rejecting the same value area high from the last hour. So there is some volume below, which is like the current monthly volume, which we tested before, not now. So I don't think there's going to be anything interesting today for gold, unless we exit this range. Then it's going to become funny. Can actually take some trades before the CPI, but unless this, I think tomorrow it is.
Yeah.
Did you do giveaways already today, or are we still looking for their target?
I did nothing. I mean, I did nothing. I was actually supposed to give them a target, but because of this voice, but okay, we have 34 likes. Let's do 40 likes for the giveaway. Let's keep it fair because it's Monday, and for tomorrow we'll keep 60, 70, something like that. So let's do 40 likes and we'll do the duck race.
Yeah, and we have 15 minutes left, so you guys can definitely add a couple of more likes for this who didn't press yet. Now look at the selling pressure though. Like most of those are on selling side. Like the whole footprint is essentially mostly bearish, basically. Like if you look at a big volume, that is coming in, it's mostly bearish volume. So and still pushing up. So might be what you said, might be the sellers are gonna get absorbed and we can take a buy from here.
Yeah.
Longs. But same thing on yes at the moment. So. Same thing on yes, because we do have the majority of those are short in big volume as well. Filter out for me, so it's like still not dropping.
There's a lot of negative delta at the bottom, the left.
This one?
And the NQ.
NQ.
Yeah. On the the first 15-minute candle of 9:30, a lot of selling where there is no follow through. But this can't. Yeah. Tomorrow morning, I think maybe it's because of some rhythmic glitch. My task was not loading, and I was like emailing them.
Today in the morning.
Yeah, I was like, chill. We are working on it. Like, okay. So it was a rhythmic issue, and I was like, okay, I have to go back to MotiveWave now again with that software where it's so heavy, and my days are over. I love a task. The volume profile is so good.
It was loading in your morning.
Yeah, in my morning. Yeah.
Okay, so that's why I didn't check it, because in my morning it was already working fine, isn't it?
Yeah, I think my afternoon is your morning actually. So yeah.
Yeah, like not so much, but yeah, not such a big difference though. You said it's 7 o'clock now. Like 7:47 or something.
It is 7:17 now.
7:17, so that's like you have 3 hours difference, 2.5 even from me.
Yeah. And what time it's for you, Jonathan? The same for Roman.
It is 10 to 3.
Morning?
No. Yeah.
No, like 2 hours.
Imagine being here at 3 a.m. I'd be absolutely cooked.
Oh.
No, you basically have 4.5 hours difference between you two.
Yeah.
So how do you trade during NY? So I think it's same for you as well, trading at night if you trade NY.
Actually, I think the UK is pretty good with timings because we get like pretty much every session.
Oh.
So.
No, I mean, don't you feel tired? It's 10 already.
No. I mean, I do feel tired today, but that's just because I played a lot of golf yesterday.
Tough life.
Tough life, yeah. And I didn't play very well either, which was even better. What do you reckon then for predictions this week? We're going to see gold higher, lower.
I think it all depends on the current structure.
Let's do a game. Roman, let's do a poll. Let's do a poll in the chat. Maybe about gold. So we could either do gold higher or lower by the end of the week, or we could do a specific price.
Yeah.
And we can come at the end of the week and be like, who's got the closest to gold price by the end of the week?
And with that being said, write gold in the chat because we hit 40 likes for the giveaway. I'm going to start. I'm going to be the first one to write it because I want it to count. Write GOLD or XAU, whatever you want. Like, you can write GC, you can write BAX because there are many names of this beauty, which is really toxic, but it gives you money if you analyze it properly. That was really brief definition for gold. Write gold in the chat.
It should have been DJ. It should have been DJ. That would have been way better.
Oh, yeah.
So what we're saying then, I'm going to say, let's do 3 predictions. It's going to be Jono's prediction, Anna's prediction, Ayush's prediction.
For me, higher.
Higher. Do you want to call out a price?
On the end of the week, not sure, but let's say that I'm expecting it to reach 4,500 on the futures quotes.
4,500. Okay, so I'm going to put a marker on the chart.
But that's GC futures, right? So keep that in mind.
For me, lower for today.
Lower for today?
No, we're on about end of the week. Where do you think price is going to be?
End of the week? Higher.
What price are you saying?
Above, I think, do you want CFD level or the futures level?
I mean, I'm on CFD level, but we can adjust like down the line.
You have to go on.
Do you want higher than 4,500? Do you want lower than 4,500?
Wait. I'm doing my giveaway job. Yeah, give me a minute. So if I go on the 4-hour chart, I feel we can easily reach 4,500.
You can't have the same level.
Who said 400 or 4,500? Oh yes, because we have the range on the left. So that's the only magnet.
I'm sorry, I was first. You need to be faster.
You look at the same charts. That's more.
Maybe the broker I have is FX Pro for the chart, for the CFD.
So, what level are you going?
You call it a little bit different level, like what? At least like a few points difference. I mean, to evaluate it somehow.
I'm gonna go 44.50. That's what I'm going to do.
Right.
And Ayush is going to go where? What colour do you want your line to be, Anna?
What?
What colour would you like the line to be to represent you?
White.
White. I'm going to go blue. Oh, aqua.
Aqua.
Ayush, are you going to go higher or lower than our predictions? Are you going to go in the middle?
Yeah, in the middle.
In the middle.
Both sides. No chance.
It's going to be tough to evaluate.
So you're going to go 44.75. What colour do you want your line?
Whatever the current one is good.
Oh, dark orange.
Looks different. Dark orange, yeah.
Okay. We'll see at the end of the week who's closer. And then
very close.
Whoever's the furthest away has to do a forfeit.
What? Whoever is it? What am I signing up for?
Yeah.
Tell me the terms and conditions straight away. Like I want to know what am I signing up for.
I've not thought of it yet. It won't be anything bad. It won't be anything bad. I don't know what it will be. Probably be nothing, to be honest. But I like to add some kind of wager into it.
So at the end of the week, we see who is the closest, like by the points. It's going to be interesting.
We'll do a leaderboard. What we'll do is it's going to be 10 points for whoever's closest. 5 points for the second closest. And 0 points. And then we'll roll it into next week.
Just to know, can I buy something with the points? With the work as USD?
Maybe we could do. We'll get you an account.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm the one who distributes the accounts. I have to put my email there.
You being the giver of accounts can give an account.
Okay, I'm setting up the duck race in few minutes, seconds. Losers buy, winner, an account. I would like instant funding. Jonathan.
What size? It's the highest.
100K, obviously.
Obviously.
race. And also, you guys will see better duck race soon on the stream by Tradeify. And I'm really excited for that one. This one is quite boring after I watched it. But anyway, we're gonna do it because we don't have it right now. So I'm gonna share. Okay. And start. We have many names today. We have 50 names.
Wow.
We have. Okay, I think the first time I saw a duck with the hat, the winter hat. Zach is out of the crowd. Look at the grandma duck, the Slippage Club. Nice name. Tradeify Crypto TV, there is Roman, the big duck. 16 seconds. I don't know where's my duck.
Oh, look at this purple duck. Go for it.
Oh no, it's gonna be that yellow one. Flasco. My friend though. Write something in the chat. I think I know you want an account previously, so I think you know the process. But if you are with us, write something in the chat. You want an account with Tradeify Crypto? Oh, I shouldn't say crypto. Did I make a mistake? Or is it okay? I should say Tradeify. Yeah. Only Tradeify. And you can guess. You guys can guess the brand. Hey, okay, you are you are in the chat. Congrats, man. You want an account. I should be saying like, hey man, you want an account. Congratulations. You know? Make sure to add your email to description. I still didn't receive the account I won last month. Okay, I have to check. You will get both then, because I know
You're between your job. What's going on?
No, I think you have to register your email. I think something like that I saw with the team that in order to receive the account, you have to register your email with the Tradeify Crypto website, and then you receive it. So make sure to do it first, and then you will receive it 100%. So yeah, and I'll make sure that you receive the previous one.
You're gonna get two now. Nice. Even better. What can be better than 2 accounts?
Yeah. That's a bot. I don't think so. He is I think real person. I think he is in the Discord as well. Okay, gold is breaking lower.
It does.
And it's going towards the. I think I should have bet for the lower price today, but he said end of the week, that's why I had to say higher. But anyway.
I put pressure on you, and now look.
Yeah.
You crumbled.
I need to kind of delete this because it looks like I'm still holding longs and I just hit my stop loss, but didn't. I exited on break even. So let's just fix it so it looks a little bit better. You know, I'm looking for either the price test this zone here and continue higher, but I'm also towards my 4,500 to win this week's account from you guys, or we still didn't break out of this range technically, so I think that we might still continue high from here actually as well. And I'm not really selling it anytime because it might pull back and the forward candle still might close within the range. So this is 4 hours, for example, which would invalidate my any kind of short opportunity that I would be waiting for. So I'm definitely not shorting this at the moment. And then if the price does reach this area here, which is around 4,500, then I'm going to be looking for the shorts, maybe. Well, it did not really pull back, but it still didn't reach. Didn't break out of the range, and there was more volume coming in here at the bottom of the candle as well, which is pushing the price higher. So, and indices are just going back and forth since the market opening, so there's nothing happening today in the stock market neither. Ron was saying in the chat, I think, that Fed is speaking today.
Yeah, Roman said it. There's some beef going on in the chat. Pretty much in range. Thank you. Yes. Jonathan is enjoying that. Look at him.
That is wild.
Oops, guys, sorry. I'll boost my camera.
Right, that's. I don't think I'm going to be looking at much more today.
No, I don't think so neither. Maybe 1 hour or something, and for the second half of the New York session, if the market will actually start moving.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, I think we are done for today. We're going to be back tomorrow, same time, same place. Perhaps the markets are going to be a little bit more active as well. We're going to be trading and live during the CPI release, which can be quite interesting. So you guys join tomorrow. We'll see if the market has something interesting set up before the CPI. We're going to trade together live. So it's going to be quite fun. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a profitable rest of Monday, everyone. For those of you who still have a little bit of hours left on Monday. And Jonathan, Ayush, thank you so much. Roman, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Risk less, wait for CPI, and play smooth. Thank you so much.
And don't have DJing neighbors.
Yes.
Yeah.